All right, y'all. We're gonna show y'all our chickens at a month. Now, don't be laughing at me while I'm trying to grab one. But is this on?
No, it's not on.
It ain't on. Yeah. So we finna show y'all the month progress of our chicks. We're gonna show y'all some clips of that other video that we did so y'all can see the difference in the growth. Let's see what we got. So y'all, as y'all can see, calm down now. As y'all can see, all her feathers are coming in. They really chill to be outside and everything. Y'all can see the red getting around their beaks. They starting to look like chickens now.
Yep.
These ain't no bitches no more. So yeah, this is a month in. Everybody healthy.
Yeah.
Everybody, they still alive. We lost one. We still don't know what happened to her. But they all broke out of the pen. They all broke out of the coop. And I came out here. They was hiding in the bushes under this tree right here. And both of the geese was out. And I'm walking up to the coop. And I'm looking in the coop. It's only one of them in the coop. So then I'm sitting there like, where everybody done went? One of the goose come running out. He telling me, trying to tell me what's going on and everything. I'm like, it was a very dramatic day. I got Daddy out here. We got them all out the tree, but we done lost one. We don't know what happened to it. Maybe a hawk came and got it or whatnot. But
yeah, we have a hawk that's here all the time anyway.
So I'm gonna try to grab one of these geese.
Now these geese are literally his children. That's why I call him not the mama. Oh, now they scary. Now he gonna run.
Now he gonna try to get out.
Yeah, because he gonna want to come with this or she. We don't know.
Now again,
come on.
We have no idea what kind of geese these are. We don't know if they a boy or a girl or not. We don't know none of that. We just know that at Tractor Supply it said geese. So that's what we got. We got some geese. They supposed to protect our chickens from like area predators. So we building the coop right now. We building a permanent coop right now. Y'all please pray for us. We're gonna show y'all some footage of that. This is not gonna be their permanent coop, but they really gonna be open. I'll open the forage around in this electric fence that we got them. And the geese are to protect from the area predators. So that's the goal with the geese. They getting big, man.
Again, we had them in this. They did this area over a week and a half, maybe.
A week and a half, 2 weeks.
A week and a half, 2 weeks. So this morning they had ran out of grass over here. So this morning Keaton moved them to this area. So you just these fences very easy to move. So you just move them over and put them inside here, and then they'll work this area till they get it all ate up, and then we'll move them somewhere else on the property.
That's what I was gonna say. So boom, we got the geese. Eventually, once they get of age, they're gonna be for the area predators. And now this fencing that we putting around here is for the ground predators. This is electrical. This electrical wire. So anything on the ground that try to come in here and get at them is gonna shock them. Got our energizer right there. So that's how that's how we're gonna try to protect them from the ground predators. A lot of people aren't used to this system. It's a kind of new system that we doing, that we saw on the internet, and I feel like it's very beneficial to the land rather than just keeping the chickens in a stationary coop. You look at it, when you see them stationary coops, it just be looking so nasty and dusty. This right here gonna keep them moving. It's gonna help them. They're gonna scratch up the ground, till up the ground. Poop, they leaving the fertilizer for the poop. That's another one of the benefits. So they fertilizing the ground as they go. As you can see, if you look at them sometimes, you'll see them scratching up and moving that fertilizer, all that poo-poo, all that manure. They scratching it up and moving around, working it in the dirt. And that's gonna help grow and regenerate the land rather than just depleting it. Because if you look at a lot of stationary coops, it'd be, like I said, dusty and dirty and nasty. They all in there with their fecal matter, breathing all that air. You don't want to raise your chickens like that if you can help it. If you can help it. So that's the goal. And now, what you was about to say?
I was just gonna say, and if you do decide to keep them in a coop and pen all the time, you have to give them a run, and you have to keep it up. It's a little more work that way, because you have to do heavy bedding.
If you want to keep the
if
smell
you want to
away
keep the smell down, you have to keep doing heavy bedding in a coop or pen and run. But that's, like I said, it's more work. But this way, they just doing the lawn for us.
All right, so y'all have probably been asking, why do these fools buy chickens? And why are we planting a garden? Why are we trying to raise our own food? So back in 2020, right? Um, back in 2020, everybody saw the lack of food security that we really have. Um, we done all grown up so used, at least my generation for sure. My generation for sure is just grown up so used. If you want something to eat, you go to the grocery store. The grocery store gonna have it. It ain't even no questions. Like, and if the grocery store ain't got it, then it's something else in there that the grocery store got that we can make work and we can make for food. 2020 really opened my eyes to where it's like, hey, if Walmart ain't got no food, what we gonna eat? You go to the grocery store, it ain't no meat up in there. All they got left is the seasoning, cause you know that's another conversation for another day. But all the meat gone. We ran out of toilet tissue. It wasn't no toilet tissue nowhere in Walmart. Then what you gonna do? You I never realized 2020 really opened my eyes to show me how dependent we were on not only the government but also these big grocery stores. Like if all that went away right now, I wouldn't know how to do nothing. That's what 2020 showed me. I wouldn't know how to raise a tomato if 2020 hadn't happened. If COVID hadn't happened, COVID really opened our eyes to a lot of the pitfalls that we have in the country with our current generation. Because I just speaking for myself, I know a lot of people my age who wouldn't know how to do none of the stuff that we have started and that we are currently learning how to do. Because I'm not an expert at nothing. This is all we all winging it. We just winging it right now. We really don't know nothing we're doing. Really just going by the suit of our pants. I'll let Daddy go. What you
But
got?
but he say we don't know, but he has really taught me a lot because I'm used to having I'm used to seeing a tractor or some kind of animal that we used to plow when I grew up. I remember that kind of stuff. So they're not familiar with that side of it. Now I'm in this age, I want a tractor. And then he showed me where we don't need a tractor. We could do it without a tractor. And I'm like, how? He said, you get hogs, you get cows, you get chickens. The hogs will go in and plow the ground. The chickens will come back behind the hogs and till the ground. And he got me to thinking, because let me make this confession up front. One of the things I said when I was at home with my parents, because we had a garden. This what you see now is nothing in comparison to what I was raised with. And I'm just gonna move around a little bit, let us switch scenery
Yeah,
so you can
you
see
can
it
walk over
behind us. And so you'll see that, okay, we got a garden, but our rows that we had back then was as far as you could see. You couldn't stand at one end and see the other end. So, and we was used to that. So now he's showing me where you don't need, he's teaching me that you don't need chemical fertilizers. You don't need triple 13. You don't need triple 8. You can use kitchen scraps, the food you eat, along with some other wood chips or leaves and grass out of the yard. You can make your own fertilizer. And so I'm learning that. And then he got this what we call cover crops now that's helping put nutrients back into the soil. So that's what you'll see on our grounds right now is these cover crops that's coming along real good. And we're gonna eventually cut that down and let it die on those beds. And then we'll plant after we go through that process.
Yeah. So my vision with the garden right now is I wish we had got footage of right after we did get it plowed up, because we did pay somebody to come and break up the ground just so we can get it easier to work with. Granted, I could have went out here and did it hand by hand, but hey, you know what I'm saying? It's 2025, ain't no need to be working like that if you ain't got to. So yeah, we did get somebody to come and break it up for us just so we could be able to work the ground. Um, and my plan with the garden, and y'all gonna see as we progress, as this goes on, y'all gonna see the changes that we're gonna be making to it. But one thing I don't want to do a lot of, and I didn't, what I'm learning as far as gardening is whatever you put in it is what you're gonna get out of it. So if you prep it, if I had prepped it more so I wouldn't have to do as much weeding, I could have really, if we really had wanted to and we really wanted to spend the money and the time, we could have got it to where I wouldn't have to do no weeding at all. But granted, one thing, we running out of time, so we got to get stuff in there. We got, if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna plant anything this year, we had to go ahead and get started. That was one, and then two, again, I didn't know if I wanted to do all that prep work that it was gonna take to not have to weed at all. Maybe next year we'll put the work in and the time in. We'll have the time so I don't have to do any weeding at all. But so what I'm gonna do is, along my pathways, I am gonna do a mulch, right? So I'm probably gonna use straw. I don't know if I'm gonna use straw or hay just yet, but along my pathways, so that way we won't have to do no weeding along the pathways. We're gonna sprinkle straight hay and straw along the pathways, all down the pathways, if that makes sense. So what we're gonna do, with, like he was saying with this cover crop brings nitrogen and carbon out of the air, and it brings it through these leafy greens down into the soil. That way, when we plant our actual vegetables, right, they can use those, what's the word? Those aren't minerals. Biomes. Hey, we'll get that right. I'll tell y'all right when it comes to my mind. I can't think right now, but it's gonna use those nutrients. There we go. Boom. Make sure you keep that in there, Cameron. Those nutrients. It's gonna use those. It's bringing those nutrients into the soil, so that way when we plant into the soil, our plants will use that nutrients to grow. And we're gonna cut, like he was saying, we're gonna cut down these leafy greens, and we're gonna cover them with a tarp. We're gonna show y'all all this stuff, but we're gonna chop off the greens and cover it with a tarp, and we're gonna use this as a living mulch as well. So what this can do is, once it's dead, it's gonna choke out all of the weeds that we would have in it as well. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I think that sounds good. So yeah, so this, I can tell y'all right now too, these 2 rows right here, we planted these first. When we planted them, we was looking at the video trying to plant them. It just got through raining. And that woman said, she said on that video, she said, you might want to wait till your soil is dry. Of course, Beavis and Butthead, me and my dad, we looked at each other and said, hey, it'll be all right. Next thing you know, we got down working on it. We said, hey, this ground too wet. We probably shouldn't have planted. So, hey, we got these 2 rows right here. They probably were a week ahead of everything else. They're a week ahead of all these other beds. And you can actually see it. You can see it like this. These 2 beds are taller than the rest of these beds out here. So, come on back this way. So back here, we got 2 more beds back here. And see what had happened was, let me tell you what had happened. See what had happened was, we were throwing our seeds out. Next thing you know, we didn't have enough seeds for these 2 beds. So, and we just ain't been back to Jackson. We just ain't been back to town to go get any more seeds for these 2 beds. But hey, you know what we're gonna do? One day we're gonna go to Jackson. It just got through raining now, so it won't be no time soon. We gotta let this ground dry up. But what we're gonna do is, once this ground dry up, we're gonna plant them in these 2 beds too. It's gonna be behind everything else, but hey, gotta get the job done no matter what. You know what I mean? It is what it is. That's how sometimes you have stuff that get in your way, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You just gotta work with it. So I'm gonna try to do my best to be one of the laziest gardeners y'all gonna see. I'm not trying to do no whole lot of work. Again, it's all about what you put in it, is how much work you're gonna get out of it. If you do all your work on the front end, it will definitely help with the work on the back end. So this is our first trial run. So we're gonna see how the way we prepped it now. Let's see how much work I'm gonna have to do. So right now, I can already see I'm gonna have to run our tiller through here, through our pathways, because we got some weeds growing. We just got some heavy rain, some real heavy rain. So I can already see I'm gonna have to go along this fence line with this tiller. And I'm perfectly fine with that, because I already planned for it. I knew it was gonna happen. It ain't like nothing gonna surprise me. That was one of the biggest things in 2020 and 2021. Okay, when I came to Daddy about the whole gardening thing, let's go and get this story out here too. I came to him about the garden thing. In my mind, I had raised beds in my mind. I think I got some pictures of the little pots that I had bought to start. But I tell you the truth, that was the biggest waste of time. So I'm glad. I'm gonna give y'all our dynamic, right? Our dynamic is, I'm more kind of conservative, because I have tried projects before and went full blast, like trying to do it all at one time. That's kind of me. But now I done changed to where I want to start small and grow. Jim Jr., big dog over here, he like to go all out. He like to go big, go home, but that's good at the same time too, because like I said, with them 2 pots that I had, that one have fed a rabbit. You see what I had? You remember them
That's
little
right.
pots I had? They wouldn't have planted, that one did nothing. So I came to him and told him I wanted to start a garden. In my head, I had them 2 or 3 little pots I was gonna have out there. Next thing you know, we clearing 2 acres of land. We clearing 2 acres of land, and each year the garden just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's came with challenges that
To my defense, I was raised by Jim P. Ryan Sr.
I guess
And
that's
we
fair
always had a big garden. I don't know nothing about no little garden. All I know is about the rows should be at least from here all the way out to the road. The road should be a half a mile long.
Yeah. So I learned, it's like I said, our dynamic is good because although yes, I am the guy that's more conservative, want to start slow, you also need the big dreamer. You need somebody who can see where we can take it, how big it can be. You know what I mean? Because you ain't gonna do nothing if you just too small. Like I said, if it had been up to me, would have had them 2 little pots in the yard. And he said, you ain't finna mess with my yard. You ain't finna have my yard junky with all that. So then next thing you know, we clearing 2 acres of land. So and now y'all can see, as you can see, the garden has gotten very big, but we gonna make it work. I'm glad that we had him to to do that.
I'm going to add some footage in this. I'm gonna add some pictures. One of my cousins from Montgomery sent me a picture of his garden in his backyard with the exact same containers that he used. They are so neat, and he got it going on. So I definitely want to show you that whatever you got, you can utilize it and make it whatever you want to. Because when you see this garden that he has, it's phenomenal, even in containers. So if you're doing containers, keep doing them. Just add a container every now and then. Yep.
In 2020, I was actually working in real estate in Mobile. So I was in the business of buying land, buying houses. We was flipping houses, renting them out. My mentor that I work with, great guy, love him to this day. He taught me a lot of how land is an asset. So in really these past few years, what I have learned is land is useless if you don't do nothing with it. But a lot of people, they buy up all this land and put a nice, big, nice, pretty house on it and don't do nothing with it. And you know, the older generation obviously has talked about how you can make money with the land. It's having your land. If you are blessed to get a big piece of property, the blessings that you can get from it are tenfold. Well, granted, my generation don't know nothing about that because again, we raised with Walmart. We just go to Walmart to go get something to eat. You know what I mean? So we got what this is right here, 2 acres.
I'm gonna say
About
a little bit more.
2.5, 3 acres somewhere in there. There's nothing going on with it. It's holding its value, which is great, and it's going up in value. But the fact that people used to make their whole livelihoods off the land that they had. And like I said, our generation, man, we don't know nothing about that. Not for real. I mean, of course, the kids out here who were born in the country, and raised in the country, they do stuff like this. But like if I go to Mobile and I talk to my friends, everything that we trying to do right now is absolutely unheard of. It's, you know what I mean? Like when nobody know what to do with this stuff. So we got this land. We're gonna try to put this land into production. We're gonna put the chickens out here. We're gonna raise some other livestock that y'all gonna get to see coming. And yes, we are gonna try to sell some as well too. Our main goal right now, our short-term goal is really to raise up our own food with our garden. I guess what we're gonna name it, our market garden.
Yes.
We're gonna name that our market garden. So that way we're gonna get most of the vegetables and fruits and vegetables that we are gonna get are gonna be out of that garden. And then we're gonna try to raise our own livestock as well. So I know we're gonna do chickens, of course. I know we're gonna do chickens. We're gonna do our own eggs, and we're gonna try to get our own meat chickens. Y'all may be seeing some other animals here in a minute, but I ain't gonna say too much just yet, because we also have some other land that was in the family that we have been blessed with. It's about 5 acres that we are definitely gonna try to get put into production, and that's gonna be kind of like where we're gonna be selling our land. Once we get that stuff up and going, those are gonna be some of the projects you're gonna be seeing. Y'all gonna be able to walk through this whole thing, this whole process from nothing,
From 0 to
zero,
100.
and then y'all gonna be able to see, like I said, like he said, to 100, to what we are not only producing our own food, but also producing food for the community. That's one of the biggest things I really want to get into is serving the community. Because if you hear the stories of old, like our great grandmother, she used to talk about how her family, they used to grow corn, they used to grow sugar cane, they used to grow all this stuff, and people from all over would come just to get produce from them, from their
Right.
land, from what they would grow. And I
And
definitely
that's
go
a
ahead.
part of my upbringing as well. When I was younger, I mean, in the wintertime, there was always gonna be a big, I'm gonna say, a big hog killing, and different families and friends would come together and kill hogs, and everybody in the community got a piece of meat. Everybody got some meat from those hogs that they killed, or even the chickens, because they did. So we raised our own bacon. I saw my grandmother smoke the bacon. They salt it down and then take it and put it in the smokehouse and smoke it. So we want to get back to that because it's all gonna be healthy and organic. And because what we eat now, again, that's another show. We'll probably talk about that one day.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that too, because this is gonna change the way we eat right now, today. You know, like, I hope y'all know we finna do all this work. Somebody gotta eat this stuff around here. So like I ain't gonna say we're gonna we're gonna leave Walmart 100%. I wouldn't take it that far, but I do want to take it to where if we
99.
had to, yeah, if we had to, if Walmart fell out today and we had to live off the land, we would be able to. That's really my goal, and I want to also do that for the rest of the community as well. Some other stuff I want to get to is some other mentorship. I'm definitely considering partnering up with our 4-H program here in the county. I just learned what 4-H was, what, a month ago? If that long, probably 2-3 weeks ago. I ain't never heard of 4-H. I mean, you hear about these concepts when you watch the TV and stuff, but as far as us in our house, because let me go back to that too, and I forgot to say that. Us in this house, okay, so back in 2020, I started the garden. Maybe what, 2021, 2022, I was like, man, I want some chicken. I want to do some chickens. But okay, so boom. At the time I wasn't back at home. So in their defense, I wasn't back at home to do a lot of the work. And then two, the way that they had always raised chickens was in the stationary coop where it was, it was stank. They let the birds free range, the birds everywhere. They getting poop all up on their carport and this, that, and the place. And that's when I would have never looked into different ways of raising the chickens, how we doing now, if they hadn't said that. Because I'm like, well, come on now. It got to be a way around how y'all used to do, because people doing it now and they not having these issues. And they when you hear people raising chickens now, you don't really hear them talking about, oh, it being stank out there, or the chickens pooping all over my yard, all over where we stepping in chicken poop all the time. So that's what made me look into different ways of raising chickens and everything. So now I can't remember where I was going with that.
But that's what we did. We pinned them up at night, but we let them roam throughout
the day.
But now we keeping them under control, and they still get to roam.
Yeah, yeah, they still get to roam. It's healthy for them, and then also too. Oh, I was saying how y'all didn't want chickens at first.
I did not.
Yeah, they was against chickens. It was, we not gonna have no chickens, and now look out there.
Right.
We got chickens.
And I go to Tractor Supply 2 or 3 times a week now, but they won't let me buy anymore.
No, we can't buy no. We gotta get the handle on these first.
So, but I do go look. I do go look, and I got a friend that every time I see him, I'm getting some new chicks. You want some of them? I'm gonna give you some. I said, man, I can't handle them right now. Just let me take this little bit I got and try to see what I can do with it. Now, but I am having a blast.
This is opening our minds to the things that we are capable of that we never would have thought we were capable of. Capable of. There you go. That was a tongue twister. But like right now we're building a chicken coop, and one of his biggest concerns was that we ain't carpenters. We don't build stuff. But it turns out nowadays, if you can read, it really ain't nothing that you can't do. You know what I mean? Like, it's opened our mind to the abilities and the skills that we are able to learn if you go out and try. It's so easy to sit down and say, I can't do something rather than sitting down and just figuring out a way to get what you want to get done. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to just say, oh no, we can't do this. We can't have chickens out here because they do this, that, and the third. Okay, well, let's figure out a way that we can have chickens. Let's figure out a way that we can make it work to where the reason I don't want to do it is null and void. You see what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
granted, it's probably we hadn't ran into half the problems that we gonna run into with the system that we got now. But what we are able to do, we are able to learn. We're able to uh learn as we go, make our mistakes. My big thing is we're gonna have a train wreck and we're gonna clean up everything out, and then the next time we ride, it's gonna be a way better ride. You see what I mean? That's what I want to. That's another thing I want to get people to learn that they can do. Man, you're able to do anything you want to do as long as you're willing to learn from each and every mistake that you make.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is Bonded Fields. This is the beginning of Bonded Fields. We're gonna document this entire journey. I also want to document this journey for our kids, so that way for our kids and our kids' kids, so they can look back at they silly grandparents and great grandparents, and they can get a good laugh at how we started from nothing. That's the goal, man. So this is the beginning of the Bonded Fields. I hope y'all are ready for the journey. We're gonna try to stay up to date on our videos and stuff. We'll get to y'all on what our schedule gonna be or how we're gonna do our videos and everything. And yeah, that's us.